Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to another episode here on the YouTube channel. In today's video, it's Boxing Day in Season 10, and we have got an almighty lead already in the Premier League title. With that being said, we're going to be breaking down this 4-3-3 that is absolutely flying in the league, and also show you obviously the second 4-3-3 that we've used as well, talk about some of the results, some of the players that are performing so well, and just explain how things are going absolutely amazing. We'll also then play Bournemouth, who currently sit second. They're doing what they normally do in this save, have a year or two of mid-table obscurity, then get out of Europe, and then proceed, when they only have Premier League football, to be a top 4 side. And they are the team closest to us. They are 13 points back, and if we were to beat them today, we could already be looking at an unassailable lead here after the Boxing Day games. With that being said, let's get into the league table. As you can see, we've played 18 games, 16 wins, 1 draw, which you guys saw against Liverpool, and 1 loss, which also came in the last episode. So last time we were here, things haven't been going great. Obviously, last episode we did play, we played Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, all in a row, which are the hardest games. The only other games, as I said to you, that we shouldn't be winning is probably Chelsea and United, but Chelsea at the time just sacked Ant Postecoglou, so pretty easy, and United was actually a pretty interesting game. Since then as well, we've scored 43 goals, which is amazing. We've only conceded 6. That is correct. This system has only conceded 6 goals in 18 games, which is incredible. That means if you look at the schedule here, and since we last met, which was the last game we played was Man City, which we won 3-1, only 1 loss in all competitions, and that was to Liverpool. We fully rotated at Anfield, lost 3-2 in a game. We had more XG than Liverpool in as well. But most notably, 4-0 against Spurs. You've had a lot of 3-0s, 1-0s. We beat Man United 1-0 away at Old Trafford, 2-0 there as well. I want to highlight this one before we get into it. I played the inverted wing-back system, and we got a goal, we sat shop, and we barely conceded. And it was the start of when we started playing Lorenzi in at centre-back. He complained he wanted more minutes. Since moving this guy at centre-back alongside Cunnington, we barely conceded. Parsons now started complaining he wants to play more minutes as well. And Cunnington still wants to leave, but it looks like this back 4 is going to eventually give us a title if things continue to go in the same vein of form. Now, for those that don't know, we did build this on stream. We did go through it in the first episode of this season, but positive here, shorter passing, but the hit earlier crosses, and I just want to bring that one up, not go through the whole tactic. You guys can go watch the first episode of this season if you want to go watch through the whole tactic. Hitting early crosses has just revitalised the side. It just means instead of the winger holding onto the ball, waiting to cross the ball from deep or work it into the box, we're getting a lot of balls into the box now with our striker and the other winger getting in front of the defenders, which means we're having a lot less shots blocked and a lot more chances going in the back of the net. Over previous season, because we're looking to work it in, a lot of teams would get 6 to 8 guys in the box, and a lot of shots would be blocked, or they'll be a bit more difficult because of the pressure. If you look at the data hub here, we are over on our goals, which we're not over like massively, like Man City were 19 goals over theirs last season when they won the league, but we're over by 5. But the most important one, we've expected to concede 10 goals this season. We're on -4, and there we go. It's plus 7 points on where we should be as well, and we are the best team in the league according to the data, and I think so too. The second thing I want to talk about is this system, the inverted wingback 4-2-3-1. I will say this right now, every time we go a couple goals up in games, I'll switch, and it's the 65th, 70th minute, I switch into this system. The 2 inverted wing-backs sit in with Koulibaly, and teams can't break us down. And we still got the whiff of Consiglia Doak. Usually by then I'm bringing on Hamazabo and Junior. And just the extra speed on the break seems to cause absolute havoc. And you got Mohamed, who's just tied down a new deal. When this guy's coming off your bench with 2 wingers beating men on their outside and whipping balls into him, you're generally going to score goals, I think, as well. So we've got a very good squad. The system's doing well, and we look utterly fantastic. In terms of other players I want to bring up, I want to bring up a couple more. First one's Ross Davies, our youth protege that came for our youth intake a few seasons ago. He got a loan out to Wolves, who are in the Premier League. He's got 4 assists in the Prem in his first ever season in the Premier League. And if you have a look, his physicals are absolutely becoming world-class. He's got world-class potential, technique and crossing, and as world-class potential. It does move between being that 4-star and that 5-star depending on his form at Wolves. I think there is definitely a world where he comes back in eventually in the next season or 2, and we're going to be selling the likes of a Junior or a Hamazabo or a Doak, even though all of them are pretty happy. The last thing I want to bring up is the promises. There's a lot of promises at the moment. Unfortunately for us, the big amount of problems is just about game time. Lorenzi's complaining, and now that we're giving him game time, Parsons complaining, Ben Dyke's complaining because Hamazabal was in good form of playing him. So this is the part of Parsons having a world-class squad, is the game time balance. Caputo and Parsons have just complained together, so I'm looking to play them a little bit more. I'm hoping that when you keep them happy, then after that they accept that they're squad players and become a little bit less, because there's no way that I can play these guys week in, week out over the players that we have. Anyway, without further ado, I want to get into Cunnington. He's developed into a monster. He's still unhappy because Chelsea still want him. Now looks like Liverpool want him. His value's starting to decrease now because he's now only got 3 years left on his deal. I will let this guy's contract run out. He is one of the most mental centre-backs ever used, with great tackling, great marking, great headering, and mentally physical. He has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 stats, 15 plus, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stats over 17 plus. He's just world class. With that being said, Robinson's out injured. Lozano has been developing. I've got no issues playing him over in the inverted wing-back role. And your game today is going to contain the following players: Dominguez in net, Lozano, Cunnington, Lorenzi, and Sarari, Koulibaly and Desiree Du, with Dedes, who has been playing pretty well, averaging a 7.4, not getting many goals or assists, but this guy's always the passer to the assister by the looks of it. Consigli scored 9 goals this season. Ben Doak has been playing with Hamazabal as well, and Mr. Josh Herman has got 12 goals in all competitions. He won the Euros Best Player of the Year in the off-season, where he's got 8 goals in 17, and as long as he continues to tick at this rate, he'll crack the 20 mark, and I think when we finally see him crack 20, we'll win the league. Now, this Bournemouth side, we're going to recap here quickly, and I'll also just show you guys what I'm doing in the system as well with the opposition instructions, which seems to be working here a lot. They've got Petrovic, who's the keeper at Chelsea, looks pretty class. Max Aarons, Ilya's still there. Jared Branthwaite's pretty good. Ewu's not bad. Guga is fantastic. Lick is won next gen only last season and decided to come here as well. Ricardo Rodriguez looks pretty good. Kosic looks pretty damn good. Nelson Wipe is one of the best, and Hard is fantastic as well. What I've been doing is to the wingers. I'll ask the assistant sometimes to do this. I don't always do it. But with the assistant, what I do, is, or with the system, is tight marking never. I don't want my fullbacks specifically or my midfielders to be dragged and try and really get tight on a winger and then drag me out of position. I almost want to say, sit in your area, block your area, and see what you can do defensively when they enter your zone. Don't go and actively engage and stand on them, because the wingers are generally the quickest players, and with an inverted wingback that comes inside, if he tries to mark the winger, there's going to be a lot of space in behind. I need him to go, okay, get back into my area first, then look to defend, and it seems to keep us a lot more solid. Shout out to RDF Tactics. I've been watching his videos the last few days, trying to figure out a tactic for myself. That was one of the things I started noticing. This is an adaptation. This tactic is like an adaptation of Ange Postecoglou, one that he did like 8 days ago. There was one where Thiago Motta's like 272. And that's the thing, is like you can watch tactics, you can implement tactics and whatever. You got to micromanage this year in this game. This is the first season I've micromanaged in game, switched in and out of tactics, and I made my tactic fit my players. The pace makes sense with the hit the early crosses for the wingers, getting in behind a bit more, etc. Not trapping inside is huge now for the team, because I want to keep the shape as close to possible. I don't want to force people inside. Seems to make a lot of difference. Anyhow, highlight from kickoff, which the way the season's been going, it's probably us not conceding, but, famous last words here, we might concede first minute into a YouTube episode. And Max Aarons with the ball, picked off by Dedes, very nicely done. Good ball to Consigli, he can run at people. Comes inside, Desiree Du, good ball to Ben Doak. Inside a minute, boys, against second place Bournemouth, we win the ball and we make it 1-0. That's what I mean, when you're forcing teams inside in the press, we would have looked to force him inside and they would have played a ball and maybe unpicked the lock. Now they're on a little bit more balance in the press. We just seem to cover so much more area of the pitch and win the ball back so much more. All those little changes we have made us defensively amazing and attackingly very, very dominant as well. Anyway, highlight here. Ball into the box. Wipe is fantastic. It's going to be hard to keep him from not scoring, and he hits the post. Just like that, could have been 1-1, but lucky it's not. Gash lower leg. We're going to keep Doak out there. Set piece here for Desiree Do. Backstick. Consigli heads. And in the end, it falls to Dimitri Dedis, who taps home. Dimitri Dedis scores. And that is 2-0. Nice to see the roaming playmaker do well. I will say he's having a very good year and proving his worth, but he hasn't really developed. In the end, he fell for Petrovic. It was actually a good save from the keeper to deny Consigli. But that is going to be 2-0. And Dimitri Dedis has got himself a goal. Looks like Doak isn't going to recover. So we might get him off early here. I'm going to bring in Hamazabal. He has been fantastic this season, Hamazabal. So we'll bring him on. And there we go. Desiree Do into Lorenzi, who's been fantastic as well. It's going to be hard to drop him for Parsons again. Dedez going on a run. Can he get the ball in the box here? Fortunately, couldn't beat that last man in LC, who is the next-gen winner. And there we are. So far, so good. Not having the most amount of possession, but playing well out there. And considering what we've done so far this season, you would imagine that this is the sort of game that we're going to hold out on. We allow that first pass, and then we look to press, which I like this season. And here we are in the channel. We're pressing. Wiper, Rodriguez. It's a good ball to Nelson Wiper. They actually got goal side here with Nelson Wiper. And in the end, Lozano, what a tackle from the wonder kid. Koulibaly, Consigli, this is where we're dangerous. Dedez, he's quick, he's running. Herman sniffing, cuts it instead. Koulibaly went down, referee said no penalty. Wasn't a pen. And Lorenzi will recycle, but that's the danger of us. When we win the ball back off, we go. Poor from Walter. Weird highlight this one. Both teams are giving the ball away a little bit. Ilya now. Max Aarons, good press here. We've still got good shape. Consigli probably should have won it on the touch there, but he didn't. And we'd win it on that touch, though. Herman from distance. Had Petrovic sprawling. But unfortunately, that one's just over the bar. And it's not quite the back of the net. Look pretty good, though. 5 minutes here of added time. Don't know why. But there we go. Very happy with that. We're 45 minutes away from what will be a fantastic win in the context of this season. Telling you guys right now, if it's still a new 2-0 here in the 65th minute, we'll move into the inverted wingback system here. And I'll show you guys how we shut up shop to end out games. Time is ticking. We've been dominant. But I think it's a very good time now to make some changes. Into the inverted wingback system we go. First thing Dimitri Dedis comes off is for George Davies. He plays box to box. Consigli is going to come off for Junior. And Herman's not the best of the game, so I'm going to bring on Mohammed. The rest of the team is going to stay out there. Expect to see me bring on Destiny Udogie. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to bring on Oliveira early. Destiny Udogie's pretty up to speed. Oliveira hasn't played as many minutes. He's always that fourth choice, but we'll bring him on. He's a very good inverted wing-back. With that being said, you can still see in the match momentum here that, we're not as dominant, but we're okay, and we cut out a lot of passing lanes in this system. And time ticks away. And this is kind of what's been happening for the most part of the season. Get to the 65th minute, make that change, and then barely have a highlight. We got one now, Hamazabal on the break. We got numbers here. He's got Mohammed with him. Hamazabal goes himself, and in the end, Petrovic foils what would have been a fantastic solo run. But as I said, this system just provides no real highlights, does exactly what we need it to do, be dogged, and hopefully it even helps us in European football in that, those away legs. And here we go, Hamazabal. Short to Junior. Back to Desiree Do. Hamazabal. Lozano. Lorenzi. Desiree Do. Down he goes. That's fine. That's going to be your highlight, boys. Another clean sheet, another win. We beat second place Bournemouth. We have 13 points, 16 points clear of the at the top of the table. Something tells me we just may have won the league in December. Now, that's a big thing to say, but knowing that, we got such an easy run into the end of the season, we can start focusing probably on Europe and stuff like that. Unless we're losing games to like the Wolves, the Palaces, the Fulhams of the world, Norwich and Stoke only got 7 and 9 points. We start dropping games there. We probably have enough to say that we're going to get to probably 80 plus points pretty easily after 19 played. And that's going to be, considering the rest where the rest of the teams are, it might be enough to win the league here, 80 plus points. We've got over 84 points the last 3 seasons. We do that again, considering City, Liverpool, and Bournemouth aren't yet past the 40-point mark. something tells me we're going to be pretty close to being okay to win the title. With that being said, another great game for us there. Another clean sheet and another victory. It's always nice to win those ones. I'll see you guys next time for another episode. I think we do have a big game coming up towards the end of January against either Liverpool or City, etc. That'll be your next league game, knowing that if we, even get 2 draws in those sort of games, we might as well have a look here quickly. We're probably going to be all right. Yeah, we got Liverpool and Man City with Napoli and PSG separating in the Champions League, where we currently sit 4th and we've already guaranteed a playoff place. Yeah, that's probably our next episode, knowing that if we can do a job against City and Liverpool, next time we see each other, we're probably going to win the title this season. And, well, I cannot wait, because there's been a few years of heartbreak here at Wrexham.